state your name and your business, sir.
Okay, that'll be the question. My name is Kenn Morgan. That's Ken with two N's, Morgan, M-R-G-A-N. And my business here is the photo instructor, mentor, and teacher, and then some. I teach film photography, how to use a film camera, how to process that roll of film, and how to print pictures from that roll of film is what I teach.
And why should people learn that technique? What does it do for people that digital photography does not?
Well, it boils down to this. You got to know your camera, you got to know your film. And on top of that, you need to know your quarry after you're going to plan to go out and shoot. And these old-fashioned film cameras, before the electric film cameras came out, you couldn't set it on A for automatic like you do with your digital camera and just fire and shoot away forever. Can't do that. With film, you've got so many exposures to make, so you better know what you're doing in the first place.
So does it challenge you to take a better photograph?
Oh yeah. You know, you got it. This is the commitment when you use film. Digital, just erase it and start all over again. I can do it again and again. But when you shoot a roll of film, that's it. Ain't no erasing that stuff. And you don't see what you get until you develop that roll of film and make a contact sheet and you can see what's on it, good, bad, or indifference. Digital, no problem. Right now I'm teaching Saturdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays. But that's going to probably change between Tuesday and Thursday, but usually between Tuesday and Thursday, and definitely Saturdays.
And what are the hours on Saturdays that this class is available?
1 to 5 right now. The classes are free.
But you're accepting donations?
Always accepting donations.
So people can come in and take classes for free, but they can also leave a donation if they want to help support?
That's right. Remember, our classes may be free, but they're not cheap. So anybody get the idea, something free can't be worth anything, what good is that? Hey, they're not cheap classes. You put a price on what we teach, you'll be amazed what it could cost you.
All right, let's go inside. It's dark. Spooky. Spooky, spooky.
What you have here is a traditional, old-fashioned dark room. Not a light room and not a computer room. An old-fashioned, traditional dark room. Although we're using it as a spotlight to kind of light it with the camera there. But in this room, you will find that there are enlargers. Enlargers is the thing that you're going to make a little small negative from to a full-size print. That's why they call it enlargers, because they enlarge the negatives so you can turn it into a print, 8x10 enlarger. It's left up to the individual. And in this room is also on this side is the chemistry. And this chemistry is here, your developer, your stop bath, and your fix solution. These are the primary chemicals that are used to make that image on a piece of paper stay on a piece of paper. And let me tell you something, this is where the magic takes place. Nothing else like it. When you see that image start coming up in that developer from a plain piece of paper to an actual image on it, that's what people call it magic, because it is. You don't get that in no electronic darkroom seeing it come up. It just pops on your screen and you can do this, that, and the other.
Okay, now is it hard to get these materials now since most people are doing things digitally?
Well, it's getting not that hard. It's still available. But it's not like the old days. You had different types of developers that could do this, that, and the other this and that. Now you're down to maybe about a dozen at the most. So you really got to be a little more precise on what you're doing and how you're going to do it, and learn more about your chemistry against your papers that you use. Because the varieties of papers are not as large as they used to be. You probably got more papers now available for your digital printer and your contact printer and the electronic printer than you do for actual traditional photographic printing. That's what has changed.
Now, one more question.
Yeah.
Can someone tell the difference if they look at a photo? Can they tell the difference between a photo that was taken digitally and a photo that was taken this way?
Yes, that came up this morning at a little breakfast meeting. Me and a few other photographers. We got a couple of guys who do large format and they do display imprints. And when I say large format, I mean like 5x7, 8x10s. You can tell the difference with a finished print between a digital print and a print from a dark room, because the chemistry is going to make the paper look different. The film is going to make the paper look different. Same way with digital. Problem with a lot of digital stuff is too sharp, too unnatural looking, and people get on their computers in their Lightroom and they will doctor and play so much with those things, you lose what the original photograph they were taken look like. See, but here you can only push for so far. You really got to know your film, you really got to know your camera, and you really got to know how to print and actually got to know how to process the roll of film first to get it correct before you can get into the darkroom to make that print. It's one step that you don't do today. Just take it off your little SD card or whatever they call them and stick them in your computer and pop it up on the screen, and a few more buttons and you're out the door. This
How
is
is
an actual enlarger, and somebody's got a negative in there right now. If you
Okay.
turn this on, you can't see the image, but there's an image down there that's being projected. An enlarger is basically a camera in reverse. So you're taking a picture, it projects a picture from the negative that was in the camera that took the picture.
Okay.
And when you do that, see, there's a little bit of an image right there. You can see if I would put my hand in a shadow down there, you can probably see what the last person did. And what you do is you print that, your paper goes in here, and you project the image from the enlarger down to the paper, and what you get is an image on the paper which is sensitive paper to light. And once you do that, turn off your enlarger, or it turns off automatically what time you have set for. And you come over here to the developer, you put that paper in that developer, and this is where, like it says, where the magic takes place. You see that image starting to come up.
And how long does it take then to create an image this way?
Well, the varies depending on your negative, depends on the strength of your developer, and your timing. Those three elements come together. You figured out this ahead of time. So when you're out there with that camera and that film in that camera, you're thinking about printing that thing in a dark room here. You're not thinking about, well, you're not thinking about when you do digital, the first thing you say is, I'll fix it in Photoshop. Well, you can't fix it in Photoshop here. You can only fix it but so much. That's in the fixer down there for the final image.
So it kind of forces you to take a better image in the first place.
You're right. That's what photography, real photography is all about. You want to get it right the first time in the camera, on the site.
Okay.
Not I'll doctor it when I get to the, you don't want to be doing all that.
Okay, and then, so the first thing that you do with your image, you put it in here to enlarge it. Then you take it over here and you put it in there.
Once again, this is the developer. This is rinse water to rinse the developer off.
Okay.
This is what's known as a stop bath. That stops the process of the image being printed. Otherwise, it would keep going and it would get dark and you lose what you want. This, once again, is another quick rinse to rinse this out. And you put it in this red tray right here, which is known as the fix. This is the one that primarily fixes the image on the paper, that photographic paper. See? Now, you won't see no printer in here where you put your SD card in there and load it with paper and it spits the image out. You don't see that in this room. It does not exist.
And how long have you been teaching this class?
I figure since about 1989, 1990, somewhere up in there. Say I'm a guru or a sage or whatever, you know.
And then what are these things for? Are these more of the same
Yeah,
as
these are
this?
more, but they're different styles for different styles. Like this one right here. This is designed for large negatives, 4x5 negatives. Is what this is designed for. You know, negatives are that big, goes in this machine. And the ones here that usually carry 35 millimeters and 120. But this is for our big negatives who come. Because what's why we get somebody who does a large format camera, 2 1/4 bigger, like a 4x5 camera. That way they can use this to make their images. And we got bigger easels that we got available down here. That's much bigger than the smaller easel, and you can make a big print. So what really made digital take off was one bottom line. They didn't have to buy anything. They bought the camera, bought the batteries, put the batteries in the camera, put the little SD card in the camera, push the automatic button. So always remember, you got people today that are picture takers more than photographers. And they definitely don't know what photography is based off of that. You've been in photography as long as I've been. You've seen things change for the good and for the bad as well. Technology has done this and that, and technology, everybody thinking they're photographers. They're nothing but picture takers. And I hope I get some feedback, people getting mad at me because of the way I talk about this stuff. I want you mad at me because I'm a grumpy person anyway. Yeah, the annual art show, he posted on that.
And that's great, and then the artists can have their work displayed.
Yes, you'll be to see the photography that comes out of here. I mean, when I got into photography back in the 1960s, I mean, early 1960s, I picked up my mother when I bought a new camera, so she gave me the old Brownie. That was like 1963, 62 back at that time. And that's when I started fooling around with photography. 1966, I had a dark room in the basement of my folks' house in the old fruit cellar. I went downtown and bought the chemicals I needed, my first little contact printer, and the rest of it, they say, is history. I'm self-taught for the most part. I do an iPodcast radio show that's dedicated to interviewing artists and artists only. No politics, no sports, which I hate also, and no religion. All three of those I do not tolerate. It's called Big Noise.
Big Noise, it's a podcast,
yeah,
right?
It's a podcast. That's on the Think Twice Radio. And I'm always looking for artists to interview. You know, whether you're a musician, a writer, a poet, actor, doesn't matter, as long as you are an artist involved in art.
Have any of your students gone on to become professional photographers?
Believe it or not, that is correct. I talked to one last night, doing really good for herself.
Really? He's earning a living as a
Yeah,
photographer?
and traveled around the world at prime time. Believe it or not. Had one wife going working for one of the news companies in New York City, and they've been scattered around and doing different jobs, but they thanks to photography coming out of this little room here and this little school here, they've done it. The classes are free, but they're not cheap.
This is a straight to YouTube video.
If it doesn't go to YouTube, it goes to that tube, the other tube, a V tube or some kind of tube.